Kim Bora is a queen, and if she goes home after this round, I will never forgive y'all.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together, let me find. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love, from your baby.
Hey guys, it's Bree here. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. In today's video, I will be breaking down everything that happened in Girls Planet 999. We had some really good performances in the second part of the Connect mission. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to join my Discord server. We actually have a thread for Girls Planet 999 and we talk about it all throughout the week. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell for more Girls Planet videos. And now let's get right into it. Okay, so like I mentioned before, episode 4 was part 2 of the Connect mission, and we started with the 2 Fiesta performances. So first up was Fiesta Team 2. I really like Fiesta by Eyes 1, so I was actually really looking forward to both Team 1 and Team 2's performances. Now, if you guys remember, I believe it was in episode 2 when all the teams were starting to practice their songs for the Connect mission. Fiesta Team 2 actually really struggled with picking who would sing each part of Fiesta. There's actually a very high note in Fiesta, and Team 2 had issues deciding on who could properly hit that high note. They actually decided on assigning that part to Miyu. She was able to do the high note when she was practicing, but you could tell she was struggling with it. And then in episode 4 here, we actually saw that Miyu damaged her voice a little. Her throat was very dry because she over-practiced. During the rehearsals for the performance, she definitely struggled with hitting the high note. The judges actually even asked Miyu before the performance how her throat was feeling, and she basically affirmed that it wasn't in perfect condition, that she would do her best. And the performance to me was pretty good. There was a point where one of the judges commented that they were kind of rushing the tempo of the performance and moving and singing a little bit too fast, getting ahead of this song. But besides that, the only noticeable thing in the performance that stood out to me was, of course, Miyu's high note, but that was unavoidable. She was already straining to hit that high note when the part was assigned to her. She was practicing it, trying to get it right, and because of that, she just overworked her voice, and it was totally unavoidable. That definitely put Team 2 at a disadvantage because it seems like they didn't have another vocalist on their team that could have taken that part over. So at the end of the day, it was kind of like Miyu was kind of set up for failure. There was no way out of it. It's not like they could have adjusted the song or the melody. They were expected to hit that high note. So it was just really unfortunate that that happened with Team 2. Alright, so now let's get into Fiesta Team 1. So Fiesta Team 1 actually struggled quite a bit during their interim check with the judges. You could tell that they just weren't ready for the interim check. They didn't really have the choreo down. They were kind of stumbling about. They didn't have the song down as well. One of the members, Jing Chao, you could see she kept making mistakes during the interim check, and she kind of gave up at one point. You could tell, it was visible to see by her body language that she was upset that she was making mistakes. And Tiffany from SNSD actually pointed that out. Jing Chao, I don't want you to give up even when you make mistakes, because that kind of affects the morale of the rest of the team. So after that, you could see that Team 2 really came together, and they just really put in the work to practice and improve their performance. As far as the performance performance goes, to me, it was flawless. Sakamoto Mashiro is one of the best vocalists in this competition to me. She absolutely nailed the high note in the song. They didn't move too fast like the judges said that Team 2 did. And Xing Chao really improved. Even the judges noticed that and commented on how well she did. I also thought Kang Ye-so, Kubo Reina, and Sin Wei did a great job as well. To me, this performance was just a lot more memorable. It was flawless in my opinion, and the styling was way better too. I just really preferred the red outfits. I thought they stood out better. I thought that the outfits just flowed better. And to me, when the judges announced the winner of the Fiesta teams, Fiesta 1 looked happy, but they didn't really look that surprised that they won. Like I said before, I think Miyu's mishap with her voice really put Team 2 at a disadvantage, and it's really sad, but at the end of the day, this is a competition and things happen. So next, let's talk about the Oh My Girl teams. So during the interim checks, Team 1 did a lot better in front of the judges. Kim Bora is a queen, and if she goes home after this round, I will never forgive y'all. When I say she literally sings like a Disney princess, I think she might be, if not the best, one of the best vocalists in this performance. She just blew me away, even in the interim check. And you could tell that Team 2, specifically Ryan, felt very threatened by Kim Bora. I definitely saw that Kim Bora's leadership worked really well in Team 1. She was really able to get all of the members on board with learning the choreo and learning the vocal parts, and I could tell that Ryan was kind of struggling a little bit. She actually kind of broke down during the interim check towards the end and basically expressed that she did have a lot on her shoulders. Not only was she singing and dancing, she was also the leader of her team and the main vocalist. So she was tasked with a lot, and after that interim check, I could tell that Team 2 really tried to step up and really support her as the leader. So as far as the performances, I think Team 2 was definitely a little pitchy here and there. The judges pointed out that they kind of messed up the harmonization part towards the end of the 5th season. I thought Ryan nailed her part. Her vocals are really good and extremely stable. I also loved the styling of Team 2. It definitely reminded me of G-Friend's Apple. If you guys have seen that music video and seen the concept, it just gave me like a cool, dark, witchy vibe. But Sunmi actually stated that during their performance, Team 2 lacked focus and confidence, and she also mentioned that the 5th season by Oh My Girl is such a sentimental, moving song. It really invokes emotion, and Sunmi said that when she watched Team 2 perform, she really didn't feel anything. So after that review from the judges, Team 2 was obviously very upset, and you could really see that when they were watching Team 1 perform. So Team 1, like I said, Kim Bora is a Disney princess, okay? Like, if she gets eliminated, I will be so upset. I was literally entranced by her performance. Her voice is just so pure and clear. That's why I say she reminds me of a Disney princess. I'm sure if you've seen Disney princess movies, you know that during the moments while they're singing, they just have that quality to their voice that's very dreamy and princess-like, and that's what I think of when I see Kim Bora. I thought this performance was so powerful. You felt the emotion clearly, and I thought that Team 1 just seemed a lot more comfortable with the concept and with the song on stage. Now, the vocal coach did say that the harmonization part from Team 1 was better in rehearsal than it was during the actual performance, but Team 1 still ended up getting the win. So now let's move on to the EBS or boy group performances. First up was the mic drop team. I was actually curious to see how this performance would go because in one of the previous episodes, the mic drop team was kind of worried about doing this performance. They were really struggling with the choreography, so I was wondering how this episode would turn out. So the mic drop team actually did horrible during the interim check, unfortunately. The judges were not happy, and they basically said like, hey, if you don't improve, you will be going home. You better pull it together, or else this is your one-way ticket to go home. So An Jung-min, who I absolutely love, I think she is such an ace and an all-rounder. She totally pulled her team together and led them, and let me just say, during the performance, they killed it. They nailed it. They took the judges' words and they learned from it. I think the judges commented that this was Ayaka and Lei's first time singing and dancing. I guess they meant performing. They commented on how much they've improved. The judges were just overall very wowed by mic drop team's progress and improvement, and I think they did a really good job too. I think that's a tough song to embody, and it's especially cool to see it translated by a girl group, and I think that they really matched the energy of the original by BTS. So next up was the Pretty You or Yepuda team. So something really interesting happened here during the interim check with the judges. Originally, Yoonji was assigned the killing part, but after seeing the performance during the interim check, the judges actually suggested that Maya had better energy and that maybe she should take the killing part instead. Now, even though the Pretty You team did a great job during the interim check, Yoonji got a little bit upset and she felt that she kind of let her team down since they were called out by the judges and that the judges suggested that Maya should do the killing part instead. But her teammates kind of reassured her that it wasn't really that she did a bad job, she did a great job. The judges just felt that Maya embodied the cute, adorable energy needed for the killing part a little better, and Yoonji was a great sport about it. She wasn't upset with Maya. She was just kind of like, you know what, this is best for the team, so let's do it, let's switch parts. It definitely paid off during their actual performance. Out of everyone this episode, I think that the Pretty You team just completely embodied the concept of the song. Their energy was great, their stage presence was great. Maya is so animated and adorable. Giving her the killing part was a great idea, and this was definitely one of my favorite performances from this episode. So next is the quote-unquote Avengers team, who are going to perform EXO's The Eve. So during the interim check, the judges actually said that they did well, but they just didn't look like a team, kind of like all of the members were trying their hardest to stick out or be the star of the performance. They specifically said that Soo-ri-chi's vocal part stuck out like a thorn. She was trying too hard as far as her vocals, like she was belting or just trying to do too much with her voice. So the judges actually suggested that one of Rui-chi's parts should go to someone else, but when she was asked, she actually said that she wanted to keep both. So this is where things got really interesting, because if you remember in the last episode, Daeyeon was really upset because she had practiced for the killing part and she really wanted that part, but it ended up going to Rui-chi instead. So Daeyeon actually kind of snitched on her team to the judges. She was like, hey, I want to say something. She kind of raised her hand and the judges were like, hey, like, what's up? What do you want to say? And in front of her team, looking at her like, what are you doing, by the way? She told the judges that she wanted to try out for the killing part and the vocal 2 part, but she was told by her team, specifically Yu Faning, that she could only try for one part. And here, one of the mentors actually told her that she should have discussed that with her team and not brought it in front of the judges. And I totally agree with what that mentor said. I think that was really messed up and not good for teamwork. The fact that she kind of put her team on blast in front of the judges. She did have that moment last episode where she got really upset, but I think if she really had an issue, she should have really tried to explain that to her team instead of bringing it up in front of the judges. But then at the same time, if she had, would her team have listened? Fu Yaning is a pretty stern leader, and she seemed to kind of shut Daeyeon down when Daeyeon got upset last episode. But I don't know, I just think bringing it up in front of the judges like that wasn't the right thing to do. But after that exchange, once the team got back together, Faning said, hey, if you want to switch parts, raise your hand. And actually, everyone besides Soo-ri-chi and Faning rose their hands and said, yeah, let's switch parts. So the whole team reassigned parts, and the performance turned out really well. It was definitely one of my favorites from this episode. Shauna's vocals are amazing. I know I've said this several times in this episode that everybody's main vocalists were great, but Shauna's voice is so clear and nice to listen to. Daeyeon's voice really stuck out to me as well, and Rui-chi is a monster on stage. I loved her stage presence. I loved her charisma. I thought she did great. You guys also know I'm team Ezaki Hikaru, so I thought this was a really very strong performance, and it wasn't an easy feat. I mean, EXO is such an iconic boy group, and The Eve is just one of those performances you have to embody that energy and that spirit to perform it, because EXO are legends, and I think that this team did a great job at interpreting that. But let's talk about how the judges reacted. They were not really impressed by this performance at all. Sunmi actually pointed out Daeyeon, Faning, and Rui-chi and told them that they didn't need to make those intense expressions that they were making during the performance because they already have strong features, and that when they do that, it's too much. And to to me, I was just kind of like, what is a strong facial feature? If you've seen the original by EXO, specifically the facial expressions that Kai makes and even some of the other members of EXO, I just felt like that's what the Eve team were trying to replicate. I mean, EXO is really big on facial expressions and really performing. I really think that this was a double standard because I feel like if this was a boy group performing this song, I don't think that Sunmi would have given them the same feedback, and I really think that this team has a very fierce vibe, and they were kind of letting that go and letting that translate into the performance. So I have to say I didn't agree with Sunmi's comment on that, and the judges just seemed to be really hard on this team. I thought the performance was great, but the judges weren't impressed. I do commend them for not just blindlessly going for the team with the most popular or top 9 contestants, but I thought that the performance was a lot better than what the judges led on. The Pretty You team won out of the EBS or boy group performances. They got the highest score. So if you remember, because they are the winners, they will get 3 times the amount of points from the final voting results for the Connect mission. So now we just have to wait until the final voting closes so we can see who the winner is next episode, I'm assuming. So on top of that, the Yes or Yes team won the benefit, and they will perform at M Countdown. So the voting closed August 28th, 10 p.m. Korean Standard Time. We will have to wait for the final voting results, and according to the end of the episode, 54 contestants out of the 99 will survive at the end of the Connect mission. So I'm really curious, what are your predictions for the top 9? I have no idea. I have a few that I hope will survive. Off the top of my head, I really do hope that Bora and Hyerim survive. I think they're really strong vocalists, and I believe they're both in jeopardy of getting eliminated, but we do have to remember that the judges will have planet passes, so they will be able to save people that are up for elimination. So let me know, guys, what are your predictions? Who do you think will come out on the top 9 after this mission? Who do you think will be eliminated, and who do you think will be saved by the planet passes? I would love to hear your thoughts. Also comment below and let me know what your favorite performance was from this episode. I think my favorite has to go with the Eve team, but everyone honestly did so well. So that just about wraps it up for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and ring the bell. Comment your thoughts about the episode below. Also make sure to join my Discord server where we'll be discussing this episode, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Like it, like it, like it, like it, like it, like it.